You'll notice that I titled this video Cyberpunk 2077 makes me feel empty and not Cyberpunk 2077 feels empty. This video is not going to be about the bugs or glitches that plague the entirety of this game because I think that that's been talked about enough. And there's nothing that my dumbass can add to the conversation that hasn't been said 1,000 times already. The game was broken at launch, it still has bugs, that's all I'll say. I want to talk about something different. I love this game, but it never fails to depress me. The narrative and the way that it's conveyed is a unique use of the tropes of the cyberpunk genre and is endlessly fun. So why after every playthrough, no matter how positive the outcome of my decisions or varying endings that I get, I sit staring at these credits feeling empty and like I'm missing something. So I started a fourth playthrough and I wanted to take a look at and pay attention to various story beats and try and figure out why I feel this way every time I play the game. Spoilers, of course. The first taste of how low this game can be is the quest The Heist, which is about an hour or two into the game, depending on how much time you spend free roaming. This quest is the second last of Act 1 before the first Johnny Silverhand sequence. Just quickly too, I think that it's so stupid that in this first Johnny Silverhand part, that just the year is displayed on this skyscraper in like the default Calibri font. Maybe if they showed the whole date, but this is just so dumb, like everyone knows what year it is. Anyway, yeah, this quest is arguably the most important of the game. It's the precursor to everything else that transpires following. The quick recap, or long recap, is that you've been given a contract to sneak into Konpeki Plaza, a high-end hotel on the waterfront to steal a biochip from Yorinobu Arasaka, the second or third most powerful person in the world. This is a pretty long quest, and the beginning for me is really exciting. Although it's little other than setup, you get to actually walk around this hotel posing as an executive. Just does a really good job at building tension and anticipation for what's to come. Anyway, after you get the biochip, events transpire and the hotel is put on lockdown, and you now have to escape by jumping off this roof. Jackie, whose character is admirably childish, kind of annoying but likable, is injured, and so is the biochip, which now must be slotted inside someone's head to maintain its integrity. Jackie slowly dies while you shoot or sneak your way out of this heavily guarded hotel, having narrowly escaped death and Adam Smasher.
You look like a cut of fuckable meat.
Your moment of triumph, having successfully completed this near impossible heist, is cut short as Jackie slots the biochip in your head, slowly fades out of consciousness, and dies. Meeting in this shady hotel to be yelled at, shot and left for dead in a dump is frustrating. After being saved by Vic, you learn that the biochip from the heist contains none other than Keanu Reeves himself, who is quickly overriding your brain, and you have weeks to live at most. The scene is uncomfortable by itself, but what really got me was the soundtrack in the background. I don't know what instrument this is because I know nothing about music, but whatever this violin type screeching sound is, it makes me want to die right now. I wanted to end the quest as soon as possible and go back to mindlessly killing people. When you do end up finishing it, you kind of have to wrap your head around the fact that your character is dying and it's doubtful you'll find a way to save yourself. This is, of course, an RPG, nothing is timed, so in reality you have all the time in the world to play the game, but just for the sake of the story, it's depressing. And I noticed that I wasn't even paying attention to the next few quests afterwards. I was just kind of thinking about the one that had ruined all enjoyment for me. The cyberpunk genre is inherently distressing because of obviously the dystopian world where corporations control everything, but I feel like this game plays off it too well, almost to a fault where I felt like actually killing myself so that I didn't have to experience this undesirable world any longer. That's such a long sentence. After a short while, the feeling subsided though, and I could safely return to my game. I don't quite know how to describe this feeling that I felt other than what the title says. So much emptiness that I felt like it translated to my own life, and I felt anxious and weird outside of the game and like my own life was meaningless. After I talked myself down from the ledge, I played another 40 or 50 hours and had a lot of fun. Then I realized, this game is surprisingly humorous. There are such good jokes and little weird, interesting, quirky shit everywhere. I hadn't felt down at all in ages. I mean, there are definitely low points, but nothing like the start of the game. And I finished the game. I got what I think is the best, most positive ending, which if you don't know, that's when you fuck off Johnny Silverhand from your mind and leave the city for good with Pan Am and Judy. I mean, it's perfect. Not only did I get what I wanted for my character, but so did the other characters. They got exactly what they needed along with me. And then the credits rolled, and then I heard that fucking music again. This one piece of music, all of my negative feelings associated with this game come from this music, and that's why I feel like this. I managed to get the most positive outcome possible, yet the game punished me with this music, and I just had to sit there and watch these depressing phone messages whilst this music played. And so there it is. Cyberpunk 2077 makes me feel empty because the music makes me feel empty. I've played this game 4 times now, and each time those credits roll, I sit in that menu and feel like starting a whole new save. But at the same time, that's the last thing I want to do. And I'm kind of stuck between, well, what the fuck do I do now? Do I play again, or do I just never touch this game again? And I feel empty. I listened to the whole soundtrack, and I couldn't actually figure out who made this specific song that I'm talking about, although there are hints of it on the main theme, V. So I assume it was just an extended version or something for those 2 parts of the game. The last thing I'll say is that this game got a lot of shit for overselling what it was and under-delivering on the final product. This game isn't what we were promised, and I don't think it ever will be, but I do think it deserves a lot of praise for the things that it does right, and that's where I'll leave it.